Well, a mouth-watering tie in the fourth round draw made today topped off a typically dramatic third round weekend. We're going to be looking at the best of what round three had to offer tonight. And throughout, Alan Smith is alongside me. He won the cup in 1993 with Arsenal. Still enjoy the FA Cup? Look at you smiling away. Can't believe it. You still enjoy the cup, don't you?
Oh, fantastic, yeah. Especially when you've got these non-league teams involved. It's what it's all about, and great to see that a few of them have survived.
And how would you rate that as a third round weekend?
Oh, yeah, I think there was plenty in there, plenty of stories that you always do get. And as I say, the fact that Telford won, shame about Yeovil, and we'll come to that in a bit, but likes of Scarborough still in it, it just gives it that fantastic flavour that we've always had down the years.
Many of the big clubs still there, although they all went behind to start with?
Yeah. And I think it showed that they desperately want to progress in the tournament. You know, Arsenal going for their fourth appearance in the final. What a record that would be. Chelsea just about hanging in there. Man United putting the big guns on when they, you know, saw the chances of going out. So nobody wants to duck out of this competition early. Right,
we've got the best of the action coming up. The draw, meanwhile, was made today for the fourth round. Here it is in full. Manchester City or Leicester will play Tottenham. Swansea are at home to Preston or Reading. Northampton Town or Rotherham. That'll be a tasty replay because the winners will be at home to Manchester United. Kidderminster or Wolves will be at home to West Ham. Arsenal, the cup holders, at home to Middlesbrough. They've got to play each other 4 times in quick succession with the Carling Cup too. Coventry against Accrington Stanley or Colchester. Also in the fourth round, Ipswich Town against Sunderland, Luton against Tranmere or Bolton. The pick of the round, Liverpool against Newcastle, Burnley at Turf Moor against Gillingham, Nottingham Forest against Sheffield United, Portsmouth at Fratton Park against Barnsley or Scunthorpe, Everton will play Fulham, Telford will play Millwall. Interesting reaction from Telford to that game. We shall tell you about it in just a second. Southend or Scarborough against the winners of Watford or Chelsea. They're playing at Stamford Bridge, remember. And Birmingham will be at home to Wimbledon or Stoke of the First Division. Those ties to be played on Saturday the 24th and Sunday the 25th of January. Before that, this lot have to be sorted out. Here are the replays. Tuesday week, first of all, most of them. Bolton against Tranmere, Colchester against Accrington. Reading will play Preston. Rotherham are at home to Northampton. Scunthorpe will play Barnsley. Stoke Wimbledon and Wolves against Kidderminster. The following night, on Wednesday the 14th, it's Chelsea against Watford, Leicester against Manchester City. You can watch the whole of that game on Sky Sports 2, and Scarborough against Southend. What ones particularly take your fancy out of that lot?
Well, I think you mentioned Northampton and Rotherham. What a carrot they've got going into that replay to have Manchester United, the champions of England, at home. You know, I know we're going to talk about Telford soon, another non-league side still in it, Millwall at home, and then there's also the potential of Scarborough entertaining Chelsea, and what a fantastic one that would be. I played at Scarborough actually for Arsenal in the League Cup, and you couldn't see 5 yards in front of your nose. There was this mist descended. But that is one that another classic cup tie, if it did come about, but there's a bit of work to be done yet for Scarborough.
And there's a great cup tie to come, of course. Liverpool and Newcastle, always a great game. We're going to be speaking to Newcastle's chairman later on, Freddie Shepherd, who got Newcastle all stirred up, didn't he, with some of the things he said?
Whether that was a coincidence or whether, you know, it did get them stirred up. Kieran Dyer spoke about it afterwards, saying that I think he thought it did have an influence in the dressing room, and he, you know, regretted that it came out publicly. And I think Freddie Shepherd's words were blown up out of all proportion in an interview we had up in Newcastle with a local journalist, but it certainly did the trick for them, and they're returning now, Newcastle, to something like their old form.
OK, do stay with us for the next couple of hours or so, because we'll bring all these stories of the weekend and the fourth round right up to date. First of all, let's look at the action, and the last time that Arsenal lost an FA Cup tie was in May 2001, when they lost to Liverpool in the final. They took a while to get going at Leeds yesterday, but in the end, they strolled it.
Lehmann, Padinka, goal! He pushed him forward far enough. Jens Lehmann hangs his head. And Leeds United take the lead at Ellen Road in extraordinary fashion.
No real reason for him to think there's anything on here, Mark Viduka. But he doesn't give it up. He decides, I'll go and put him under a little bit of pressure. It's not a great touch from the goalkeeper. Could have gone anywhere. But the way things are going for Leeds at the moment, it flies past Lehmann. No real danger here. Just takes a little bit too long. And Viduka takes a chance and gets his reward.
Hart's free kick. Diagonal for Alan Smith, the guide back across for Viduka to hit.
What an effort. Wonderful crossfield pass. Alan Smith could have brought it down his chest, but he just knocks it square. That's a great effort. Great effort.
Campbell knocks it long, and there is Kilgallen reaching it and reading it. Arsenal try again with Vieira. Kanu's got that halfway position, and here's Ljungberg. And it's 1-1. Henry.
It's a lovely goal, lovely footballing. Kanu plays a big part. When he comes short, makes a lovely run. And that ball in, just wanted to have that kind of finish on it.
Lauren. Gilberto, Vieira. Edu's made a great run infield to leave space for Henry. And here goes Edu!
Oh, what a goal. Top draw. What separates the wheat from the chaff? There's an example of it. 2 passes and a brilliant run. He's on his position, look at him wide left, just floating about there. That's the first ball. Edu makes the run. Deserves to get there. Made a huge contribution with the run infield to open it all up. What was required were 2 inch-perfect passes. They were there.
He's now just lurking on the left and to catch Leeds off guard. Richardson has picked him up. That's one thing. Stopping the pass is another great interplay with Ashley Cole. Ricochet off Cole. Oh, Kanu. Great stop by Robinson. Kanu let the ball run across, which didn't look the right thing initially, but he wrapped his right foot into the shot, and in that moment really could have settled the day. Henry with a magnificent flick. Ljungberg might go all the way here. Freddie Ljungberg tried to go all the way. Lauren. Team that Arsenal beat in the final last season, of course, knocked out yesterday. Southampton, Blackburn have gone from the Premiership. Aston Villa today. Charlton, of course, in the upset at Gillingham. They played very well indeed. Hessenthaler's men. Henry for Perez to put it beyond any doubt.
Oh, class act. It's a class act we've watched today. To run across, and then the ability to do that, leave defenders in his wake, pick a teammate out and say, here you go, Robert. You've only been on a couple of minutes, but get yourself a goal. Simple chance in the end. But it's quality you're watching, make no mistake about that.
Parler. Henry, here's Perez on the prowl again. Oh, it's Touré! And it is 4-1 to Arsenal at Ellen Road again. And Kolo Touré, whose last Arsenal goal was in a 4-1 win here last season.
Again, it's just quality football you're watching. Look at the way they move the ball around. They're so aware. I thought Perez is going to shoot here, but the little dink. There you go, Colo. You have won. I had mine a minute ago. You might as well have yours. And there's just nothing that Leeds have been able to do when they put moves together, Arsenal, to stop them.
You can get Arsenal at 150 to 1 now to win 4 trophies this season. That's, of course, our own domestic treble and the Champions League. Any chance?
Worth a punt, I would say. Tenner, why not?
Are they playing as well as they've played this season now?
Yeah, I think they are actually. I mean, a bit like Manchester United, first third of the season, I don't think they showed their best form. But lately, last couple of weeks, I think they've really started to motor Arsenal and play the kind of stuff that they did last year and the year before that when they won the Championship. Going into the new year, it's going to be very close because United are producing some similarly stunning stuff at times.
If there's one from behind to beat Aston Villa yesterday, Ian Crocker is the commentator.
Sorensen's kick. Vassell. Always managed to send it across, but Angel! What a save from Howard. Aston Villa so nearly ahead in the opening minutes of Villa Park. Melberg. A stumble from Silvestre gives Angel a bit of room, and he feeds it on here to Gareth Barry, who looks for the run of Vassell, and Howard is in the way again. It's picked up by Whittingham, who wastes no time looking for Angel, who probably was being held then by John O'Shea. Looked like he might have had a bit of a case as well. Referee playing the advantage as Gareth Barry takes over. Oh, the deflection has taken it in! Aston Villa lead against Manchester United. Well, they were shouting for a penalty. They got a goal. Giggs taking it. Oh! And it somehow stayed out from O'Shea. Cleberson trying to get his shot in, and Silvestre found his route to goal, incredibly blocked. It was O'Shea first time around. Aston Villa living dangerously, but they survived, and that's all that matters to them. Scholes, Kevin McCann's challenge, but it only holds United up temporarily. Here's Cleberson. Gary Neville in towards Giggs. Cleberson! Plenty of power. J. Lloyd Samuel. Some fancy footwork, and he found a way through to Vassell. Howard able to collect it. Giggs sending it in, and Melberg sending it out. Giggs tries again. Oh, that's a cracking cross too. And Quinton Fortune coming in on it. This is Gary Neville. Keane. Cleberson. But turned into a very decent pass for Keane, and he's found Ryan Giggs, and they're waiting for the pullback, and Scholes has put it in, and Manchester United are level. Well, they've by no means been at their best today, but it's Scholes for the rescue. Turned into an unlikely, decent pass that for Keane, and if Scholes wasn't going to score, Van Nistelrooy would have done. It is 1-1, and that's more like it. Van Nistelrooy. Scholes slipping it through here for Cleberson. He was forced just a little bit wider by Samuel, and that proved to be his undoing. But it's come through to Scholes. Manchester United are asking some questions now. Giggs cross, and Paul Scholes is there again. They have turned it around just as they did here in the cup a couple of years ago. He is a little marvel. He is Paul Scholes. Giggs' cross was fantastic, you have to say. And how many times have we seen Scholes arrive in the right place at the right time and also come up with a quality finish. And Gale flicking it on. Here's Stefan Moore. Maybe there's time for Villa yet. Hitzelsberger, Moore, Barry, Angel, Whittingham, and Howard is equal to it. Villa's best move of the second half. It's come right at the end of the half. Whittingham trying to find the bottom corner, but Howard was having none of that. Manchester United are nearly in round 4. It's all over. Aston Villa's long wait for FA Cup glory goes on, but Manchester United are hungry for the FA Cup. It didn't quite turn into a thriller for the Villa, even though Gareth Barry's deflected drive put them ahead. It was Scholes for goals today. It was he who steered Manchester United into the 4th round of the FA Cup.
Well, Manchester United coming from behind to beat Aston Villa at Villa Park in the FA Cup.
This is Williams. Way. Johnson to Lockwood. Now goal. Lovely touch by Williams to Terry. It's Darren Way. Well, it's the first real sighted goal that Yeovil have had. Johnson with the corner. Right across to Williams! Superb shot and a wonderful save from Dudek. Well, he had a shaky moment earlier on, Jerzy Dudek, but he salvaged his reputation there because there were a lot of bodies in front of him and he got down very rapidly to keep out Williams' shot. Here's Way. Williams. Oh, and Pluck looks to bring it under control, gets his shot away, and Bischan puts his body in front of the goalkeeper. And this is an excellent spell for Yeovil. Murphy. Goalkeeper hesitated and Schmitz is in here. And Juve hits it wide. It was the best opening that Liverpool have managed to conjure in the game so far. It all came from the break of Vladimir Schmitzer. Well read by Pluck. Here's Williams, now Johnson. Colin Pluck. Lockwood was in there, and here's Kevin Gall! Well, it was blocked by Risa, which took all the force out of it. Johnson, Crittenden. Sonny Hippier steps in, but Lindegaard's there. Now Heskey gets his first touch. Hippier, Heskey gets a second, and his third produces a save from Chris Wheel. Juve. Now Murphy. Schmitzer. Lockwood climbed to beat Heskey and fell awkwardly. He's back up now. This is Juve. A touch on its way through that from El Hadj Juve. So it is a goal kick. Well, Emil Heskey getting involved so soon after coming on. These his first 3 touches, but Wheel wins the first duel between the two of them. A man. Kill. Back from Heskey. Now Murphy. Schmitzer. Haman. It's Bischan's ball. Harry Kuehl. Lockwood is in tight on Murphy. Schmitzer! Off the post! And Kuehl goes for the rebound, and Juve comes in as well. Vladimir Schmitzer, the closest Liverpool have come to scoring. Schmeitzer saw the gap and was so close. Bischan. Murphy. And a chance for Heskey. A goal for Heskey. Liverpool get their reward for a much improved second half performance, and Gerard Houlier's decision to send Emile Heskey on is vindicated. Heskey really has made the difference since he entered the field, and that's the goal that is the difference between the sides now. Now Murphy, Heskey again. Rodriguez challenge, it's a penalty. Neil Barry felt then that the Portuguese player had got a slice of Harry Kewell here. Yes, his knee just went into him. Right in front of the Yeovil fans, Danny Murphy could possibly clinch the victory for Liverpool. He scores. Liverpool in the comfort zone now. Murphy blew a kiss at the Yeovil fans who tried to unsettle him as he took that kick. But surely now they don't need to be drawn into anything. Liverpool look safe for the fourth round. Away by Risa. Way. It's forward for it, and it was Colin Cluck who then came flying through. Here's Kevin Gall. It's Gosling round the back. Jackson. Good hit. Good reaction too from Jerzy Dudek. No matter what the outcome, Jackson would dearly love a goal against the team he supports. And it's certainly Yeovil's best moment of the second half.
So I wonder if it was great relief there for Gerard Houllier.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, I've been down there to Yeovil with Arsenal in '93, and
Jones was the commentator for this one.
Shearer. And towards Solano, and here's Dyer! It's Kieran Dyer! After missing 2 games, he's back, and he's back with a goal. His first goal for Newcastle United since last February. Woodgate in there, and might get his chance. Robert! Newcastle United have a second goal. It's Laurent Robert. Poorly defended corner. Came away from Woodgate and straight out to Robert. Away by Woodgate. Here's Telfer. Touched on by Shearer to Dyer. He's away from Lundvik. It's still with Kieran Dyer. It's Kieran Dyer. And that is 3-0 Newcastle. Super goal. Wonderful set-up play by Shearer. And Dyer putting his pace to full use then. Easily away from Lundvik. That's what Bobby Robson wanted.
No doubt then about the tie of the fourth round of the FA Cup, which was drawn today, and that's Newcastle's game against Liverpool. Let's speak then to the chairman of Newcastle United, currently 4th in the Premiership, and they travelled to First Division Gillingham in Kent. It started well enough for them. Here's Kevin Keatings.
And Charlton get us underway, missing Scott Parker from their midfield today, and Paolo Di Canio only a substitute. It's Charlton doing the early pressing. Carlton Cole, who got his first goal, the only goal in the win in the last Premiership game for Charlton at Tottenham, on by Jensen. Nosworthy looking to do the tidy up job, but he loses out here to Cole. Gillingham struggling to get the ball away. It's Konchesky, useful ball in. Oh, and it's in! Just over 30 seconds gone. Bosu, the goalkeeper, seemed to have everything covered, but the ball was turned in for what appears to be an own goal. The replay will tell us. Paul Konchesky with a cross into a dangerous area, and Ian Cox with an own goal. And the Premiership side in front inside the very first minute. Not a good header away. And Tommy Johnson trying to find room for the shot. Does so and scores! The First Division side on level terms through the experienced figure of Tommy Johnson. But it all stemmed from a poor defensive headed clearance from John Fortune, and Johnson getting the better here of Haridason to somehow squirm the shot beyond Kiley. Useful ball. A statuesque defending again by Charlton. Johnson, Southall. Good header in! Mamadou Sidibe! The man they call Big Mama in Kent. Sheer delight around the Priestfield. Textbook centre-forwards header from Sidibe, and the First Division side in front. Good ball from Kishishev, and two from Jensen. Here's Johansson. Cole in the middle. He looks for Carlton Cole! It was well read by Bosu. Good move again by Gillingham. Free header away for Haridason. And Smith! Oh, and it's crept in! Paul Smith makes it 3-1. And if you're looking for an FA Cup shock today, the Priestfield Stadium may well provide it. Kiley should have been saving this. Somehow it squirmed from his grasp. In comes the Gillingham corner. Oh, and somehow saved by the legs, I think, of Kiley. John Hills flicked off the head of Haridason, and a good save from Kiley to deny Johnson. Matt Holland. Headed down by Cole. Oh, a fine save. Still might be there for Charlton. And still, oh, another great save by Bosu. Brilliant goalkeeping. Cole's initial header down. Goalkeeper just getting to the shot from Jensen, and then from Johansson, and then from Stewart. Di Canio so far has not been able to make any impression on the tie, but he might now. Paolo Di Canio off the post. Well, it's not going to be Charlton Athletics Day or Paolo Di Canio's. Johansson, good climb, chance now, another good save from Bosu, but Cole has turned it in. And maybe, just maybe, for Charlton. Johansson played his part with a header on, and Cole makes it 3-2. Charlton had sent plenty forward here, and they just might get stretched. Henderson. The referee Jeff Winter says no more time. And Andy Hessenthaler's First Division Gillingham have caused an FA Cup upset here. High flyers in the Premiership, Charlton Athletic have ruffled some expensive feathers in the top division so far this season, but they are on the wrong end of a cup shock here.
They've got a right to celebrate. What a great game.
Great.
At Gresty Road, no mean achievement that. but they had to hang on because they scored, Alan, after only 75 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, Lee Mills, the scorer, he's been about in the Football League, Port Vale, Stoke, among others, and he's an experienced performer. To get that early goal, you're thinking, well, have we scored too early? Mick Jones, the manager, might have thought that as well, and Crewe had loads of chances. Dean Ashton missed a good hat-trick, but rode the luck, the non-leaguers, and you know, they've got a decent tie now against Millwall. They'll see that as half a chance of going through.
Terrific result.
Away goes Craig Fagan. Gets past two, continues Fagan. He's got the sniff of glory here. McLeish lays the ball off. Oh, and that was a soft finish. Too good, hitting the post with the goalkeeper rooted in the grass. Robbie Williams. Well, James is there on the blind side. They have to be careful. James! Oh, how unlucky! Keith. Feet with a bad ball to Fagan as it's onside. Right across there and a diving header. Goalkeeper didn't know anything about that. What a flying header that was from Scott McLeish. Ripping the kitchen sink out, they're throwing everything out. Oh, what a save by Brown. A match clinching save.
So Accrington and Colchester live to fight another replay day. Coming up next, how Clay. For the record, Bolton are playing in red.
Towards Facey, who's broken clear, and it's come off the post in the opening stages of the game. Sharps. Roberts. Hayworth! Oh! Off the top of the bar. Hume. And he's put Ryan Taylor in. This could offer something for Tranmere. Oh, it's a fine save. Hayworth's shot. Good stop that from Kevin Poole. Hume. Finds Beresford. Hume bursting into the box. Beresford's effort. Mickey Mellon. Oh, and the rebound is put in by Hayworth. Tranmere are in front. Hayworth chasing this. And he's got the better of Emerson Tome. And Kevin Poole keeps Bolton in this FA Cup tie. Emerson Tome trying again. Tranmere holding firm. Might do a little more than that now. Mellon has got Hume ahead of him, and he's onside. What a chance for Ian Hume! And he's fluffed it. And he's fluffed it big time. Vaste. Pedersen. Puts it across to Kevin Nolan. And Nolan, oh, he's done very, very well. And he's come to the rescue for Bolton Wanderers.
It's interesting, Bolton's attitude to the FA Cup. 9 changes to their side. They've got Manchester United coming up on Wednesday in the Premiership. What's the thinking, do you think?
Oh, you see Sam Allardyce there, he's thinking, saying to Phil Brown, what did Kevin Nolan go and do that for? Keep us in the competition.
He wants out.
Well, I think, I mean, he makes no secret of it, in that it's an unwanted distraction, because, I mean, I spoke about Charlton putting all their energy and efforts into prospering in the Premiership, and Bolton are having a good season. You know, they're not in that relegation mire at the moment, but he doesn't feel that he's got the squad, Sam, to go on both fronts, I think. And
3 fronts with the Carling Cup as well, isn't it?
So yeah, he gave a chance for some of the lads who never get a run out to play, and they've scraped through. So they would fancy the chances at the Reebok, but yeah, he's just got both eyes firmly fixed on that Man United game.
All right, well, Fulham were nearly given an early shock at home by Cheltenham yesterday, but Louis Saha added a bit more to his value with 2 goals to see them through, Alan. And this was just after 5 minutes in, Cheltenham taking the lead at Loftus Road.
Oh yeah, great start. You know, and now they're struggling themselves really in the conference. And I don't know what Van der Sar was doing there. I don't think it got a deflection, whether it swerved a lot, I'm not sure, but Van der Sar got it completely wrong.
Grant McCann leading the celebrations. That was after 5 minutes. Then after 13 minutes, Louis Sahar got his 13th goal of the season. And if you need a striker in form, he's the man.
Yeah, he is. And just that instant you saw there, he started on the defender's shoulder and using his pace. And he hasn't done that the last couple of seasons. And I think that's why he's having such a good time now. He's such a quick player and so good in the air. I mean, I don't know how many headers he's got now, but
that was the last minute
great
they scored that goal. And there was still time after that for Cheltenham to have grabbed an equaliser. This is Bob Taylor, the veteran.
Yeah, it looks like they were unlucky on the day, doesn't it? That's a good strike from Taylor. But Fulham, Chris Coleman said his boys just didn't perform and perhaps a bit fortunate to get through.
And overall, this great gap between the Premiership and the rest of the world, it doesn't really exist in the FA Cup, does it?
Well, not on a one-off it doesn't. If they played them 10 times, they'd probably win on 9 of them. But the FA Cup sometimes is that 10th, and that's when you get the shocks.
There were 4 other Premiership clubs sweating on tricky ties over the weekend. All, though, were at home and all got through. Portsmouth left it just a little bit late, though, didn't they, Alan?
Well, yeah, I mean, another team struggling, and I think Portsmouth can use the FA Cup, for as long as they last in it, as a means of getting some confidence together, because they've had a terrible run. That's a good ball in from Matthew Taylor.
Sebastian Schemmel scoring the first goal after 35 minutes.
Yeah, but, you know, goals breed confidence, and winning games breed confidence, so, you know, they won't look on this as just beating inferior opposition. It's a chance to get their overall approach play going and get some confidence in the ranks.
If you want a striker in form, and we talked about Sahar, 22 goals now for Scott Taylor of Blackpool just before half-time. Will he stay at Blackpool with a record like that?
Well, whether he's just a goal scorer, a good all-round player, I don't know, but this is a typical striker's centre-forward's goal, getting ahead of his defender and spinning and not needing a second opportunity.
All the action left till right at the end. Yakubu scoring in the 90th minute to give Portsmouth the win.
No, it's a typical Portsmouth set piece. It was Teddy Sheringham making that familiar near post dash and getting there first with a bullet header. Keeper couldn't hold, and thank you very much for Yakubu.
Still time for a sending off, though.
Yeah, it's Dion Burton down in the corner here who takes
Gareth
exception
Evans
to that challenge. You can see that he would, but
just frustration, isn't it, at the end of a game when it gets like that?
I think so. When a player goes in the corner and you're desperately trying to get the ball up the other end, they do whatever he can to win back possession. No choice.
So Portsmouth went through, and you were at Goodison Park to watch Everton, which on paper against Norwich was a very tricky tie.
Yeah, flying high, 5 points clear in the First Division, Norwich, but they didn't start the game well. Everton actually played the best football that they have all year in this opening 20. They got great servicing from the flanks. Kilban in particular did well. He was scoring in that circumstance, but Duncan Ferguson feeding off the cross, he's really made a nuisance of himself. But
this is Jim Brennan scoring the equaliser.
Yeah,
for
they
Norwich.
came back after the break and got this goal, and really played some good stuff and asked a lot of questions of Everton and just didn't take the chances. They had a disallowed goal from Darren Huckabee, but it was the fact that they conceded 2 penalties that really scuppered them. This is the first, is it?
Yeah, there were a couple of penalties that they conceded. It was Roberts, Ewan Roberts.
It was Ewan Roberts, yeah.
I mean, Stubbs, both times.
Twice picking up Stubbs. That isn't from a set-piece situation, but he's got the wrong side and trying to make the challenge. He catches Alan Stubbs as he's about to have a go.
Did Rooney play for all the game? I think he
played. Did. Yeah. I mean, he could have had 2 goals early on, and he squandered them. He didn't have his best game. It was fairly quiet and got quieter as the game went on, but Ferguson tucked 2 very nice penalties away. He waited to see what the keeper was doing. This was Roberts again. He got the wrong side of Stubbs as he made his dash in towards goal, and he knows that Stubbs is about to head on goal and probably score.
Is it a striker's challenge, is it?
Yeah, well, I think so, yeah. I mean, he's 35 now, Ewan Roberts, and he's probably shattered at this point, and hauled him down. Another great penalty. And you know, on paper it looks like a straightforward win, but Norwich will feel a little disappointed that they didn't make more of it, but you can see why they're top of the First Division.
Next, Spurs against Crystal Palace. Again, on paper it could have been a tricky tie, but in the end didn't turn out to be at all.
No.
Canute getting a hat-trick.
Nat Marley, centre forward, yeah, he's buzzing, isn't he? Yeah, just showing what Tottenham are going to miss when he disappears, which, you know, rubs salt into the wounds really for David Pleat. He is such a talent, and they will miss him.
I think this is my favourite piece of action from the whole weekend. Stefan Dalmat
He's really lively and catches the eye when he runs with the ball. Beautiful shimmy there to get past two players and give Canute his second.
They've got the players, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. I mean, Dalmat could play a big part because it's in midfield that they lack legs at time, Tottenham, and he's certainly got legs.
And then Canute getting a hat-trick, his first hat-trick in English football, and his 12th goal in 17 appearances for Spurs, which is exactly what they need.
Well, yeah, he's technically a very good player, and he's a big lad, physically puts himself about, and perhaps Bobby Zamora will be asked to do something like that role in his absence. Postiga as well.
A couple of incidents before the end of the match, and here we have a first red card. This is Gus Poyet getting tangled.
Taking a protection to that challenge. Not like Poyet, really. You don't often see him do that, and he lays his head on Dougie Freeman's, and I suppose when you do that, I don't know, there wasn't much there, was there? But
this day and age, you just can't do that.
No, books, Dougie Freeman, and off you go.
But after that, there was a case of mistaken identity. Now, if you see there, this is Bobby Zamora and Danny Butterfield of Crystal Palace going for the ball. And then a severe challenge from Jamie Smith.
Well, you know, I don't think there's too much in that challenge. He obviously got the ball and he's followed through, but I mean, I know he sent the wrong player off, but...
Well, this is Danny Butterfield getting his marching, not who, me?
Well, I mean, that's obviously going to be rescinded, no doubt about it. And it didn't affect the result. Of course, it didn't. They were 3-0 down, but he's got the wrong man there, hasn't he?
So I'm sure that we haven't heard the last of that. Right, finally, goals at Middlesbrough. Now, Middlesbrough hadn't scored a home goal against anyone for 473 minutes when they did score, but it was an own goal by Notts County's Ian Richardson, so I suppose maybe we shouldn't count it, I'm not sure.
No, they'll take anything, I think. I mean, it's been desperate stuff, hasn't it, at the Riverside? They're such a fantastic defence, but, you know, sometimes need those little bits of luck to get the ball rolling, and that's what they got. Joseph Desiree job at the far post, given plenty of time to have a strike at goal, just stretching out there, unlucky the defender.
Borough have got 4 games against Arsenal coming up because of the Carling Cup semi-final, and in between those 2 semi-final legs they've also got a Premiership game. Now they've got an FA Cup match against them.
Well, they'll need to find the net, because they won't be able to sit back against the likes of Arsenal and hope that they can just see it through.
This is Tony Barras being sent off for a professional foul.
Well, he was deemed last man, wasn't he, as Ricketts has got the run on him, and well, I think he's just poked a leg out to try and trip him.
But finally, in the 64th minute, Middlesbrough getting the first goal that they've scored properly at home since November the 1st. Boudewijn Zenden scoring it.
He's been really consistent for Middlesbrough. Zenden, him and Mendieta on either side of midfield, worked hard up and down. And maybe now, as I say, that be the springboard for them to go on and add a bit more adventure to the play. I mean, they've certainly got the players. Zenden, Mendieta, Juninho. Haven't found a partnership up front, really, but you would hope for better things from now on.
Now they're scoring. Floodgates are open, aren't they?
Maybe.
Right, after the break, is it time for the infamous goal line technology? We'll look at Saturday's lunchtime meeting between Watford and Chelsea at Vicarage Road. Only one man in the world thought that was over the line. It against First Division Watford.
Given it. It's nowhere near over the line.
He's gone down dramatically, but it is a penalty. Ida Goodjohnson equalises. Next kick is a deep one. Dale's got up. Restored Watford's lead. Johnson lines one up for Lampard.
Right, Alan, where do you stand on the was it over the line and should we have technology helping us now debate?
Well, no, it wasn't over the line. And yeah, I think we should have on those instances. It wouldn't take much. And we've seemed to have been talking about it for the last 5 years,
I know.
but it's never got any closer. But this is one instance where it's black or white. It either is over or it isn't.
It's got to be totally over the line. That's the law. It wasn't. And yet the linesman, referee's assistant, if we see here,
yeah, you
he's
see
on the
where he is.
6-yard line, 5-yard line.
But he's got a good angle because the post isn't restricting him, so he can see across. So I just do not know how he's come to that conclusion. And we sat in this studio a few months back that towards the start it was Middlesbrough versus Everton when the ball was over the line, but the linesman didn't give it. And I stuck up for the linesman because I said, well, if you're not certain, you can't possibly give it. So I can't see how that linesman was certain of that.
Mm. There were quite a few penalty shouts in this game and quite a few talking points as well. Now, this is Marn with Gallas putting out a foot. Now, what do you think of that one?
Well, he does get clipped. I suppose Marn's problem is he goes down in instalments a little bit and he tries to stay on his feet and that doesn't, help him in the end. And
now, you see, the difference between that one and Kuehl's one, as lots of commentators have said today, is that Kuehl actively looked for the penalty, whereas Marn tried to carry on, and yet, if we're to get a penalty, you have to fall over.
Yeah, Harry Kuehl knew exactly what he was doing from the start. He knew he was going to go for the penalty. Where sometimes if your body weight is in such a position where it's hard to go down straight away. I mean, Marn had felt the contact and he did lose his footing over it. But in fact, he didn't go down straight away. I think that's what worked.
If you don't get a penalty for what Marn did, but you do for what Kuehl did, you can understand why players simulate, as they say.
Yeah, I think so. When contact has been made sometimes, but a player wouldn't normally go down. He doesn't have to go down, but he does because he feels the contact, and technically it is a penalty.
Have Watford got a chance at Stamford Bridge or not?
Well, you would imagine that was their best chance, although not many people gave them a chance at Vicarage Road, but they really got in amongst Chelsea. You never know. I mean, Chelsea are going through this ropey spell, which all teams have. They've got to come out of it the other side, but having said that, you would expect them to be okay.
And they missed John Terry a bit as well. I mean, there were a lot of balls into the box, and Desai wasn't as sure, perhaps, as he has been in the past. They need him, don't they?
They need John Terry. Yeah, I mean, he's proving to be a real leader for them at the back, and somebody you do need in those kind of cup ties.
Sky's replay is one of Alan's old clubs, Leicester City, playing Manchester City. We'll look at some all-Premiership ties now. We'll start at the City of Manchester Stadium, where Manchester City found it hard to win at home again. Old boy Paul Dickoff getting to the fore once more against Manchester City. They must hate the sight of him.
Yeah, I mean, he had 6.5 great years at City, but he says his allegiance is firmly with Leicester now. And I mean, Man City are having a terrible time, really. Confidence is very low, and playing in front of your own fans sometimes is harder than playing away. I mean, Bosvelt perhaps again making the most, but contact was made.
Billy McKinley bringing him down, and Nicholas Anelka looking as happy as ever to score for Manchester City. Cheer up.
But Leicester just don't give up. I mean, Richard Dunn, he should have certainly done better with this high ball, but great finish from Marcus Bent. Really confident finish from some distance out.
Again, it's a Manchester City defensive error, though, isn't it, that Kevin Keegan will be up.
They don't look certain at all, do they? But that got them out of the mire. Good header from Anelka. They don't give up. I commentated when they played Leeds on that Monday night and came back with that late Sibierski goal. So that's some consolation for Man City. But
now, earlier in the Premiership at St Andrews, Blackburn had won 4-0 against Birmingham. That was on December the 6th. And the roles were somewhat reversed.
Yeah, I mean, Graham Souness, the last thing he said was, listen, remember, this is a team that was embarrassed here a few weeks back. We embarrassed them, and be prepared for that. And it seems that the Blackburn players weren't. Obviously, Birmingham had a point to prove, and they really did prove it well.
Well, there was a floodlight failure, so there was a 35-minute delay to kick off, and one wag was telling me before the programme the power failure seemed to affect Blackburn. Maybe Birmingham just played too well for them.
Yeah, it seems that way. They were up for it. Stephen Clemens scoring. Clinton Morrison got the first one. He's going to be important for Birmingham in the next few weeks with Dugarry out. They need somebody up there to support Mikel Forsell, who's, he's had a storming time.
Well, he's got to be one of the best on-loan signings of the season, hasn't he?
Well, he's scored quite a lot of goals, and his overall play has been excellent. Technically, he's a very good player. I'm sure Steve Bruce would love to tie him up permanently, but I'm not sure Chelsea will let him go.
So he scored the third one. Stephen Clements and Clinton Morrison, you say, had scored the early ones. Brian Hughes with 6 minutes to go, and Blackburn basically all over the place.
Yeah, they were. They
scoring
were all
the
over
fourth.
the place. Yeah, I mean, that just sealed it.
First time since 2000 that Birmingham have actually got through, and you'd say that they'd be a very difficult team to play.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of belief returning to the ranks now after they had a really poor spell. That'll do them no end of good, and they all, on form, they're a very difficult side to play against.
6 more ties to look at now. We'll start with Sheffield United's trip to Cardiff, and here's Jim Proudfoot.
2 years ago this week, Cardiff beat then Premier League leaders Leeds in round 3 of the FA Cup. But Wayne Allison's first goal in 20 games meant that they couldn't dispose of Yorkshire opposition again, as Sheffield United reached round 4 at their expense. Ipswich joined them after 3 goals in the second half, prevented it from being a happy return to Portman Road for former boss George Burley. Richard Naylor nailed the Derby defence before Chef Kikuchi was blessed with untold space to provide Tommy Miller with goal number 2. And that prevented any chance of a Rams comeback and set up a 4th round home tie against the last non-Premiership side to reach the final, Sunderland. Kikuchi was credited with the 3rd, although he doesn't appear to have touched the ball until it was over the line. He and free kick taker Martin Reusser both grateful for Lee Grant's fumble. Walsall had reached the 5th round of the Cup for the last 2 seasons and had the perfect start in their tie at Millwall. Matt Lawrence's chest and stumble presenting an easy chance for Georges Leitao. But that was as good as it got for the Saddlers, who lost 2 goals in the rest of the first half and 2 men in the second. Neil Harris set up Kevin Braniff for an equaliser, and Tim Cahill won the game in first half injury time. Walsall then had Leitao and keeper Jimmy Walker sent off, and Millwall, who are the last nationwide league side to knock out Chelsea, have to make sure they're not victims themselves as they go to Telford in round 4. Less than 12,000 were at the City Ground to watch Nottingham Forest see off West Brom. FA Cup debutant Just Volmer manhandling Matthew Louis-Jean to concede a second half penalty, and that was converted by Marlon King. King's first goal since his recent big money move from Gillingham sets up a repeat of last season's extraordinary playoff semi-final with Sheffield United. One of the ties of the round came at Deepdale, where Preston and Reading shared 6 goals in the first half, even if 5 of them were scored by Preston players. Sean Goders was the exception, his 10th goal in his last 13 FA Cup ties, giving Reading a lead in his comeback game, quickly cancelled out by Brian O'Neill's deflected strike. But within 4 minutes, Reading led again. Michael Jackson's contribution to the thriller was bad. So many times this season, the hero for North End has been Ricardo Fuller, and he scored twice in the last quarter of an hour of the first half to take his tally for the season to 16. But as fast as he was scoring at one end, his defenders were putting them in at the other. Scott Murray's cross hitting Claude Davis to give Reading another freakish lead. The last time these sides met in the Cup, Preston won 18-0, albeit back in the 19th century, and Reading's long wait for revenge goes on for another 10 days. Fuller booking the replay, Swansea wait for the winners. 6 first half goals there, 3 in the last 10 minutes at the JJB, where West Ham, still the last lower division side to win the Cup, won at Wigan. Hayden Mullins' first goal since his move from Crystal Palace was the breakthrough, while David Connolly added to his reputation of being not just a decent goal scorer, but a scorer of great goals to make the game safe. This surely one of the best of his career. Prize for mental aberration of the weekend goes to Hammers defender Wayne Quinn, who'll never be able to explain to David James or the rest of us exactly what he was trying to do here. But the Hammers held on, and they go to Kidderminster or Wolves. And a tie with Birmingham is the prize for the winners of the forthcoming Wimbledon-Stoke replay. The informed Potters taking the lead through John Eustace, a lead that they held for more than an hour. But the improving Dons equalised when Wade Small set up Adam Noland, and these two sides will meet again on Tuesday next week at the Britannia Stadium.
It's David James' expression when he sees that own goal, he just goes, what? Here it
Hello. Tonight, for many people, the World Cup really gets underway. Start of the second round, cup tie football, there has to be a winner and loser. The first match features the world champions Germany against Belgium at Soldier Field, Chicago. Kickoff is only a few minutes away. Now, unlike so many previous World Cups, the first round has produced, outside the sensational early departure of Maradona, some wonderful action and an air of great optimism.
Welcome to the heat of Soldier Field and the start of an all-American show.
We're into stoppage time, and it is Spain 2, Korea 2, and it is the substitute, Seo Jung-won, who has earned a point surely now for Korea.
Ronaldo.
Oh, it's in! America have equalised!
Knocked down by Houghton, it goes